Hey, what's up, parental queens? Welcome to Baget, the home of family creativity. My name is Cedrica Baggett, and I help moms build unbreakable bonds with their teens through cooking. So now, let's get into it, y'all. Let's go to my favorite part of the show, which is motivational moment. You know I love to motivate you guys, so let's get it popping with today's quote. Okay, girl. So today's quote is, I am the type of person that will sit in the bathroom and cry, but then walk out like nothing ever happened. Now, let me explain this. Now, I could do a story on this because it's not exactly a motivational quote, but it makes sense because I'm going to motivate you guys. So listen up. So I chose this quote because I can relate to it a lot. I'm not a big emotional person. And for me, that comes from, I've been in the military almost 15 years. So to a certain extent, they teach us how to be emotionless, which could be a good and a bad thing. But when we go through certain things like being overseas deployed, you have to learn how to manage those emotions, that mental health. You have to learn balance. So nothing wrong with being an emotional person, nothing wrong with crying in the bathroom and coming out like nothing ever happened. But it is also good to make sure you have a healthy outlet. You don't have to be a crier. You could be a talker. For example, I'm a talker. So when I feel a type of way, I'm the type of person, I have to talk about it or it's going to bother me to the core. So I have to talk about it, whoever I need to go to talk about the situation, whoever I feel needs to hear it, whoever is involved in the situation and they need to hear what I have to say, I'm going to tell them. So that's my outlet. And it's also the same for my teenage daughter. She's the same way. For me, when it comes to like, she's an introvert, but when she got something to say, girl, she will say it. And I appreciate that because I encourage my kids to don't hold stuff in. Let me know how you feel. Don't hold back because I want them to be their natural self in front of me at all times. Okay. So it is important, y'all, to have your healthy outlet. It doesn't have to be crying. It doesn't have to be, boo-hooing and being emotional. And at the same time, it can be if that is the way you want to have your outlet. So that's up to you. So, of course, you want to teach your kids as well to have a healthy outlet. Also, you don't want them to keep things bottled up. Okay. You don't want them to be afraid to come to you and talk to you about certain situations because you don't want the world to raise them. You have to raise them. They're under your roof. They're in your household. So therefore, let me say this again. I am the type of person that will sit in the bathroom and cry, but then walk out like nothing ever happened. So I encourage you guys to have your healthy outlet. Make sure it's healthy, no matter what that is, and be okay with that. All right. So moving on, let's go into today's fun food fact, y'all. Y'all know I love my fun food fact. So this one is about salsa. I love me some salsa and chips. I could snack on it all day, literally all day. I have to stop myself sometimes. So salsa originated with the Inca people. And now I had to do a little research on Inca people. I've heard a lot. I've always heard Inca people before, but I've never knew exactly who they were. And so I just did a little research, And so Inca people come from the city of Cusco. It's like a Colombian area in South America. And so they arose from the Peruvian highlands sometime in the early 13th century. And I love that because it just sounds exotic. So when I get the salsa now, I'm like, ooh, you got to eat some. You got to eat some salsa. And so also the month of May is the month of salsa. It's National Salsa Month in the month of May. So that just gave me, month of May, I'm going to make my own recipe of salsa. So y'all stay tuned for that. Okay. So, and also, so I remind you to eat you some salsa and chips. Don't go crazy like I do sometimes where I'm just snacking. I can literally go all day. And before I know it, the whole bag is gone. And then my daughter is like, Mom, you ate all the chips. Oops. So just get you some salsa and just have discipline with that. Okay. So now today, my guest for tonight, her name is Lacy Graham. She is a mother, a wifey, a farmer, a naturalist, and she helps you create a better, more self-sufficient life. So please help me welcome Lacy Graham.
So excited to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, this is so fun. Your energy is like I'm getting so energized. I love it.
Thank you. So just go ahead and tell us about you.
Hey everyone, I'm Lacey, and I just what Sajika just said. I'm a naturalist. We have a small farm, a homestead, and I'm really passionate about helping folks connect back to things that are more sort of back to basics, whether that's gardening or farming or maybe getting a few chickens or even beekeeping, those kinds of things. And I also teach folks how to use herbs and essential oils for their health. So I have 4 kids also. And so we're really, when Cedric was talking about raising your kids, that's really important to us. And so we raise those 4 kids to kind of feel the same way and be excited about nature. And that basically there's just always something new to learn. And I don't know, in a nutshell, I feel like that's it.
So what started you on the journey of being a naturalist?
That's a good question. Looking back, I remember as a child, my dad was always really we would go on hikes and he would be looking for birds and different plants and that kind of thing. And I thought it was annoying at the time, but I think it did instill in me the idea that I should slow down a little bit and pay attention to the world around me and enjoy it and let it be a part of my kind of daily routine. And I don't know, now I can't get enough of it. I have an app where I can like look up what plants are, and I have little guides, and I'm always trying to figure out what kind of butterflies are flying around and that kind of thing. So I think it just started, probably he planted that seed, and then when I was old enough to appreciate it, it finally blossomed.
Awesome. So can you give us a definition of what a naturalist is?
I think a naturalist is somebody who's kind of looking to really reconnect with nature and understand it and how we fit in with it, and really, I think we are nature, and sometimes we
Mhm.
try to separate ourselves to be like smarter than nature, or have more answers than nature has. But the truth is, like, we were put here, we were created to be here, and we're a part of that. I really think that if we look around us, the earth and everything in it was designed just for us. And so when I think of being a naturalist, it's really about kind of understanding that on a more fundamental level.
Awesome. So your kids, they were born into it?
Yeah, they whether they like it or not, they're naturalists.
I was wondering, like, has that been a difficult road for them, even though they were born into it? Has there been hiccups with them having to go try to do something else as far as being a naturalist?
Well, so my oldest is 16, and I will say she sometimes maybe gets a little annoyed that I'll like get obsessive about it, but ultimately they actually get just as excited as I do. So if we go for a hike or something, one of the best things to do is to look around and find things that they can pick and then that they can even eat. And when
Mhm.
they start to realize, oh, look, if I'm just walking and I see an onion, I can pick that and I can eat it and it's safe. And when they know that, they feel really powerful. So I think a lot of it just has to do with them finding useful ways to kind of participate, and really
Mhm.
including them makes it sort of a joy for everyone. So I don't think any of them resents it at all. I think they all like that they have that, because when they go out with their friends, they generally don't. So it's something that they have,
Mhm.
like sort of this extra wisdom that they can share
Right.
with people.
That's
So
awesome. It kind of reminds me of like doing activities with your kids. And so as you do them together and they learn from you about it, they enjoy it as well. So that's like a great way to like get your kids into it, them learning to love it, and them growing into it. And as adults, they'll probably continue doing it and pass it on to
I
their
hope so. Yeah, that's the hope.
children.
Yes.
That's awesome. So did you have any other career before becoming a naturalist?
Well, so I have been kind of a little bit of an entrepreneur my whole life, just kind of, playing around with what can I sell here or what can I do there. For a long time, I sold vintage items, vintage
Mhm.
furniture, vintage clothes, that kind of thing. And then when I was introduced to essential oils, that became my passion. And because I was able to help people with their health, which felt even
Mhm.
more powerful, to be able to help people kind of shift from not being well to being well with just nature, like that
Mhm.
natural tools, it felt really good. And so that really became my career. And then last year I wrote a book, and now we're still sharing the oils and helping people though be entrepreneurial and be self-sufficient. That's really our kind of our overall arching business now.
Awesome. Can you share a few tips on how to be self-sufficient in life?
Okay, that's a good question. I feel like really just being open and willing to learn all the time is huge.
Mhm.
And kind of, I like to say, chasing or following the cue of curiosity, because I think sometimes we suppress the things that are just a little bit interesting because we think, oh, that's nerdy, or that's like, I don't have time to learn that, or whatever. But when we kind of spend time doing and trying new things, it gives us an opportunity to just really stretch ourselves and find
Mhm.
things that maybe we didn't know were our own, like, unique skills that, just given to us from God or passed down from generations. I think a lot of things are written in our genetic code, and we haven't even tapped into it because our culture these days is very much like go to your work, come home, sit back, on the couch and relax, and then go to bed and do it all again tomorrow. Um,
Mhm.
and I think if we, push ourselves a little to try things that are new and different and creative, and gardening, or it
Mhm.
could be, watercolor painting, or just something new and different. Keep
That's
stretching yourself.
self-care. Self-care.
That's right. Cooking is huge.
So do you see your children also following your footsteps to become entrepreneurs?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that the life of freedom that we have, where we kind of get to write our own schedule and, sort of build until we meet certain goals and that kind of thing. I
Mhm.
think it would be really hard for them to go into a job like 9 to 5 or any kind of scheduled system where somebody was always telling them what to do. I think they really would have a hard time with that, honestly, because they just haven't experienced a lot of that. I think they might do
Mhm.
it for a time, but I think ultimately they'd probably come back to sort of chasing their own ambitions and inspirations, and I can't wait to help them do that.
Yes, that's important. It's like whatever gifts they have, you nurture that, and that's very important. Like I literally look at my kids to see what is your gift. I want to find
What
out.
is your gift? Yes, me too. I'm constantly like, am I helping them in the right ways? Because I want to really focus on their strengths, and
Mhm.
we homeschool, and that gives me an opportunity to be able to do that a little bit more. But my kids, they're all different in terms of how they
Mhm.
learn. And I know that none of them were very early readers. And that was
Mhm.
something that was actually, for my first one, a real struggle for me, because I was looking and watching like my friends' kids read and my nephews and nieces read. And I was like, what's wrong with her? And I know
Mhm.
if she had gone to school, they probably would have pegged her as with some kind of a learning
Yeah.
disability or whatever. And since we haven't had to do that, she doesn't think about what's different about her. She thinks about what she's really good at, and I'm able to
Mhm.
help her in those areas. And so I'm hoping that just those things become her superpower, and she can
Yeah.
just run with those instead of making sure she knows, her times table super well. Like, it's just not that
Mhm.
important.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that because my 8-year-old son, he's
Mm,
not strong in reading. He's more better now than he was before, but it's the
right.
same exact way you explained it.
Yes. Yeah, it can take extra time, and that's okay. I mean, I think what I've heard and read and learned is that with reading especially, unless there's like some major underlying thing, they will learn to read. I mean, if you read,
Mhm.
they'll read. You can't keep them from it. So I think we tend to stress out if they can't read by 5 or even 7. And then, one week when they're 9 years old, they're like, I want to read, and then they can read chapter books. So
Mhm.
that's how it's worked for us. And
Yeah.
anyway.
Awesome. So what motivates you?
Oh, what motivates me? Probably my kids more than anything. And,
Mhm.
I want to leave a good example. I want to show them what's possible, what it looks like to do what you love the most.
Mhm.
And beyond my kids, anyone else. I think I want other people to look on and see what I'm doing and realize, oh, there's more to life than just clocking in and,
Mhm.
getting, the specific degree to make the most money, to, all
Mhm.
of those things. I want people to realize, life is, bigger than all of that, and chasing your dreams
Right.
and, setting goals and working hard, all of that does, it's worth it.
Yes, yes, it is. And
Yeah.
I would ask who has been the most influential people in your life, but would that be your kids again?
That's a good question. I feel like it's for sure. I think that there nothing challenges a person more than having kids to
Yes,
grow
yes.
and learn and be a better person, right? But also I would say my parents too. I mean,
Mhm.
they instilled in me that, like, constant craving to learn new things and to try new things. So I have to give credit where it's due, and they for sure they lit that fire.
Awesome. So what has been your go-to meal since COVID-19?
This question is so fun. So we really like this meal. I found it like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so, and we even had it last night. And it's called Puerto Rican beef. And it is something where you can use any kind of ground meat, and then it has kale in it too. And if you just search Puerto Rican beef, I think it'll be the first thing that pops up.
Write it down.
A lady put it on her blog. It's like a keto or paleo recipe, and you serve it with sweet potatoes, and it's delicious. It takes a lot of oregano and other spices. Just really tasty and super healthy, but it doesn't feel like a healthy meal. It feels just like a kind of a meat and potatoes, literally kind of meal. It's very good.
I'm gonna try that out.
Dude, wow. Let me know what you think.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up your information. Can you tell us what you offer on your website?
Yeah. So if you go to laceygrim.com, you can get the first chapter of my book for free. And we actually are going to be doing a 4-day challenge. The book is really about helping people kind of look at their career and analyze it and see, you know, are they doing the things that, first of all, they're most passionate about? Are they really capable? Do they have the skills they need? Are they being creative and adding their own uniqueness to it? And do they have confidence? Because I think the most crucial bit to being an entrepreneur is having that confidence and putting yourself out there and knowing that, you know, I'm here for a reason. And the title of the book is I Belong Here. So that hopefully sets up more. But yeah, so you can grab that for free. And there's a few other freebies and things going on my website. But yeah, please stay in touch.
Awesome. So I want to tell the audience first to make sure you share this video and like this video, because there's always somebody out there who needs to hear this information. You just never know. Another mom, another woman, even a gentleman. Somebody needs to hear this information. So make sure you share and like this video. And also I want to tell everybody, make sure you follow Lacey at Lacey of Schoolhouse Farm on Instagram, and check out our website, laceygrim.com. Lay my last.
Right.
So Lacey, I want to thank you for coming on and joining me and telling us your story. I really appreciate it. And I also want to tell the audience for recipes, of course, you can go to my blog. It'll be posted at the link below or above, wherever you're watching or listening. And so thank you, Lacey. Is there any last tips or last information you would like to share?
Oh, no, just go out there, be curious, and try to be a little bit more self-sufficient. It's a challenge, and it makes life a little bit more exciting.
Yes. And so I want to thank once again everybody for watching. Make sure you tune in next week, same time, virtual, of course, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And so thank you guys. Make sure you follow Lacey at Lacey Schoolhouse Farm on Instagram and check out her website, laceygrim.com. So until next week, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.